Are you thinking about buying an RV? Because before you sign the paperwork, there are 10 things we wish someone had told us. These lessons could save you thousands of dollars, countless headaches, and help you buy the right RV the first time. Unlike us.
This is the Open Roads Institute.
That monthly payment you make, yeah, that's just your admission ticket. Welcome back to class. The first lesson we're going to learn today is the RV. It's usually the cheapest part of the whole operation. Don't ever think you get an RV and then you're set to go, because that's just not true. There's a lot of hidden costs that people don't tell you about, such as booking campgrounds, insurance, memberships, RV maintenance, RV upgrades, RV fuel, RV repairs. Different from maintenance. There's a lot of routine maintenance you do for an RV, but there's also a lot of things that break. And then there's the operational costs, the hidden costs that nobody really tells you about, the stuff that you need to make the rig operational, because it just doesn't come out as an out-of-the-box solution. The increased cost of gas, increased cost of maintenance and repairs on your tow vehicle, increased cost of buying a tow vehicle, a new vehicle. For those following the channel, they know we just bought a new F350 because we are going on a new life adventure. If you haven't checked that video out, go back after this video and check it out. Get caught up with the series where we have the Weekend Revolution. Next lesson, I believe this is number 2. Buy the floor plan, not the brand. Most brands you'll actually figure and learn that most brands are derived from the mothership brand, as I like to call them. Realistically, there's only about 3 or 4 brands, and they all just kind of branch off with different names. Kind of like buying mattresses. It's really all the same brand at the end of the day. So buy your floor plan that works for you, not just the brand. And you got to think what works for you and your camping style, like we talked about. Are you going to be seasonal long-term? Stuff like that. Do you need that bunkhouse? Do you need that kitchen as big? Do you need that kitchen island? Do you need more theater seating or couches? Think about things like workspace. Are you going to be working in it? Do you need a desk? Do you need a dinette? Do you want a queen or a king bed? Are you going to be sleeping in it a lot if you're doing full-time versus seasonal versus just weekending? So buy the floor plan that works for you and only for you. It's your rig, nobody else's. And it's every circumstance is unique. So just buy what works for you. Research the floor plans. Do your research. Do your due diligence. And buy the right rig the first time. Lesson number 3. Be honest with yourself on how you're going to camp. How are you going to use your rig? There's multiple different styles of camping. Are you going to stay at campgrounds? Are you going to boondock? Are you going to mooch dock? Are you going to be traveling full time? Are you going to be seasonal? Are you going to be a weekend warrior? What style are you going to be? Because that is going to help define your rig, and that's going to define what kind of upgrades you might need. That's going to define things such as, if you're boondocking, you're going to think about solar, a second battery, lithium upgrade. Seasonal, you're going to be thinking more permanent solutions. Being part-time, being a weekend warrior, being full-time, you're talking tow rigs, bigger tow rig, more ability to tow, easier to tow. State parks, keep your rig under 35 feet type situation. So you got to really think about what your camping style is going to be. Do you want a drivable versus a towable? If you're going to be full-time, you might be looking at different brands, because certain brands are warranted for full-time living. Other brands aren't. Other brands will actually nix your warranty and not cover things if you are using the rig full-time. So that's something to consider. Best brands out there right now for full-time that are warranted, Brinkley and Alliance. Are you traveling with pets? Are you traveling with kids? All things to consider here in your style of camping, because that's definitely gonna define what kind of rig you need. At first we were weekend warriors, and now we're heading towards this full-time living while working full-time, still working the 9-to-5 grind, but hitting it up on the weekends still, but living in the camper full-time. So that's gonna change our camping style. As you know, we already upgraded the tow rig, so we all know what's coming next. Lesson number 4, your tow vehicle. It matters more than you think. And there's a lot more things than just hitching up and rolling out. There's things such as your payload capacity, your gross vehicle weight rating, your gross combined vehicle weight rating, your axle ratings, all go into consideration when buying that new RV. So check it out, do your research. We're coming out with a video soon about getting the right tow vehicle and buying it, because Don't be like us. We should have bought bigger the first time. But big doesn't always mean better. For example, one of the ambulances at work I was checking out the other night, and it's a bigger truck. It's an F450, but it actually has less payload capacity by 1,500 pounds than our F350 does. It's all about that payload capacity. So think about your tow vehicle and get the right tow vehicle for your rig. Lesson 5, bigger always isn't better. You might have a bigger rig, but it might not match your lifestyle. You want to go to state parks and a bigger rig at 45 feet, that's going to be more challenging. Also, think about your tow vehicle. Bigger there isn't better. We were staying in Weekend Warriors, and the F-150 was the right choice at the time. F-350 is now the right choice at the right time. So make the right choice. Bigger vehicle, more fuel, harder to store. Same thing with a trailer in your RV. If you're storing it somewhere, you got to think, how much is that going to cost if you have to park it somewhere? Or is it going to fit in your driveway? Who knows? When it comes to your tow vehicle, bigger, not as fuel efficient, going to be using more gas, more maintenance. So think about all these things. It's not just one thing fits all. It's your rig and what fits you and your camping style and your camping buddies, whether you're going with family, friends, or anything. Make it all work, match it all together. And honestly, here's failure number 1. We thought this was a good idea with the first RV. Just wasn't great. Yeah, did it get it home? Absolutely. Was it gonna tow it with anything in it? Absolutely not. Way over payload, way over gross vehicle weight rating for the truck. So we went from this to the F-150 to the F-350. All in less than 2 years. Lesson number 6, inspect everything. Also, hire an independent inspector. Look for red flags. If you see red flags or it feels off, it absolutely 100% is off. Our first rig had, we'll say quote unquote, compressed styrofoam, the dealer told us. That wasn't the issue. It was water damage. This water damage we found a little after we bought the rig, within the first year. Actually, within the first like 6 months, I think. Luckily, after strong words with the dealer, they took it back and they fixed it and repaired it. But they originally swore to us that it was just compressed styrofoam. Which leads me into my next point. Don't listen to the dealer. They're going to do anything to make the sale. And they're going to say and do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Like when we were told the Jeep Grand Cherokee was going to be able to tow the first RV. And that just wasn't accurate with all the information once we learned and started doing our own research. So hire an independent inspector. If the dealer's not going to let you bring someone in, don't go there. Upon your delivery day, inspect everything yourself. Your seals, your windows, your water system, your electrical system, your water pump. Everything. Tires. Check your year of the tires they were made. They're stamped. Check your propane tanks. Make sure they're within date. 5 years for rehab tanks, 12 years for original tanks. Get original tanks. Don't let them sell you that crap. Because that crap redone propane tanks only last 5 years. Don't let them sell that. Get new tanks. Get a new battery. Inspect everything. Make sure everything works. Don't let them promise you to fix it. You get it fixed before you take delivery. And I know it's hard. I know you want the RV. I know you're emotionally attached. Been there, done that. I'll never admit it to my brother, but it happened to us. Don't get emotionally attached. Get the right RV. Make sure it works 100%. And your camping experience will be much, much nicer. All right, next lesson. I've lost count, so whatever. I think this is 7, 8, whatever it is, but budget for upgrades and operational costs. These are hidden things that nobody tells you about. Operational costs are required. If you don't know what I mean by operational costs, go check out our beginner's guide to buying the RV and the RV accessories you need. But just give you a quick sneak peek. These things are like the hoses, water hoses, sewer flush hoses, your surge protector, your power cord if the RV doesn't come with one. Usually they do. These are things like your leveling blocks, your leveling ramps. These are the operational costs to get your rig running. It just doesn't come out of the box like we said earlier. Those are things you need to budget for. We budgeted, I think it was $3,000 when we first got the rig. You know, throwing in extra things like water filters, water pressure regulators, all those kind of things. So that's about, I think we budgeted $3,000, and I'm pretty sure we went over budget. But and then the second thing is upgrades. Everybody's going to want to do upgrades. You're going to see the cool stuff, and we also have a video on that. The stuff that you don't necessarily need to make your rig operational, but it makes your life a heck of a lot easier. So go check that video out after you're done with this one. But those are cool things like the beach lane leveler or the Levelmate Pro to make your leveling life a little bit easier. Things such as having a spare tire, things such as Govee water sensors. These kind of things that make your life a lot easier on the road and a lot cooler, and quote unquote the fun stuff. Hey, if this content's helping you decide to get your RV right the first time, smash that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. There's going to be a whole weekend revolution and a whole education series. So come on, ride with us. Next lesson. I think this is 8. I don't know. But insurance matters. All right? Just don't get any insurance. Make sure it's got good coverage. Make sure it either gives you insurance for full-time coverage if you're full-time. Seasonal coverage might be a little more risky. And not so quote-unquote seasonal coverage, but think if you're parking at a seasonal site, you probably want a little more roof coverage because you're probably a little more prone to getting hit by a tree. If you're parking in a wide open field and you're just weekend warrioring it, probably not as high risk. And when it comes to accidents, you want to look into things like actual cash value or agreed value or full replacement value. And if your insurance, what they're going to give you. Agreed value, no matter what the rig is actually worth, they're going to give you that number that you agree with at the policy start. Actual cash value, they're going to reimburse you for your rig of what it's worth at that current time. And the last thing, full replacement, they replace it, full cost, no matter what, when you bought it. So look at that when you get insurance. Usually full cost, just as a side note, only you can get that if you're the first time owner. Used rigs, you can't really. Number one auto insurance, in our opinion, Progressive. That's what we use for both our golf cart and our RV. So very, very good company. We get great coverage. They'll do agreed value on a used rig, but they won't do total replacement cost. Last couple things, think about extended warranties. Everyone's got a different opinion on extended warranties. Make a judgment call for your best decision for you and your situation and what you think is worth it. We thought it was worth it on our 2 rigs. We negotiated the price. Don't let them think that you have to pay the price that's on the sticker. And then the second thing is gap coverage. Again, this is a personal preference. Don't let anyone tell you one way or the other, because it's not a one size fits all. Make the best decision for you. Don't let people bully you around on Facebook, because that's not the right answers. Everyone has a different opinion. Everyone has a different situation. Do what's best for you. The Open Roads Institute Chief Safety Officer is joining us for this one. She wanted to come out and hang out today, but here we're going to talk about memberships. Memberships to places can save you thousands of dollars. And again, this is what works best for you, and know what you're getting. We're 1,000 Trails members. We love it. We know the quality of the campground isn't great. We know everyone's going to have different opinions. But with the price of campgrounds these days, it gets us more camping for less. Especially with looking at going full time. You can stay up for 3 weeks and jump somewhere else to another different campground. So we like it. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Other things like Resort Parks International, Campgrounds of America, Good Sam, Hip Camp Apps. All these type applications and memberships are great, and they really, really can save you money. There's a lot of diesel apps for you diesel guys out there running your tow rigs or your diesel pushers, motorhomes. We also like RV Life, more for the trip planning thing. Not so much the GPS. We switched over to Garmin GPS, but the RV Life trip planning feature is really nice, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of traveling. So We're going to probably renew that membership once we go full-time, simply for trip planning. Good Sam is just an all-around good discount program. And what's another one we like, Ashley?
Harvest Host.
Oh, Harvest Host. Harvest Host is phenomenal. This one is a little deceiving, so be careful. And there's another one besides Harvest Host. What is it? Overnighters.
Overnight.
RV Overnighters or something like that. We're probably going to join that one too once we go full-time. But Harvest Host can be a little deceiving. While you get 1 or 2 nights for free, sometimes, extend the nights, they do have, some places have charges for electricity, they have charges for water. There is only certain rig sizes at some Harvest Hosts. And usually you always have to go buy something from them. And I shouldn't say that you have to, but usually it's nice to go buy something. They have a gift shop, you do a little tour. If it's like a brewery or an eatery, you buy something there, or go have dinner, go have a drink. So it helps a lot with traveling. You'll see next week when we stopped at 2 Harvest Hosts on our video coming up next week for our longest camping trip ever. Speaking of which, hit that like and subscribe to catch that video next week, because it's going to be top notch. Actually, I think it's coming out in 2 weeks, but here nor there. So that can get a little deceiving because you buy something from the gift shop, the next thing you know, you're at 40, 50 bucks. But it's great for traveling. It's great for hopping in between campgrounds and stuff like that. So, and the last lesson of the day, don't wait for the perfect RV. There's always going to be a better deal, probably a better floor plan, a better color, a newer model. It's always going to be out there. The best RV, in our opinion, is the one that's going to satisfy most of your check boxes, and one that's going to get you out on the road making those memories, and the best between the miles between Mondays. That's what it's all about. So that's it, class dismissed. What's one thing that you wish you knew when you bought your first RV? Drop a comment below, and you can help out a fellow student of the Open Roads Institute. We'll see you out there.
From hitching up to leveling out, from campgrounds to crossroads.